guys, this is Ms. Cagle, and I am going to cover our writing expectations for this semester in order for you guys to truly understand exactly what I need you guys to do for the writing assignments you're going to be doing for Technical Writing English 116. So a lot of people ask, why do I need to have specific writing expectations? So here's kind of the all in all of that. Number one, this is an English class, and this class focuses on writing. So there are going to be certain expectations that I have about the assignments you turn in. Number two, in order to have a successful career, you need to be able to write professionally, especially with some of you that are moving into automotive careers or more technical careers that require you to write memos and custom work orders and things of that nature. You need to be able to do that in a professional way. And if you can provide professionally written work samples, you can be more impressive for future employers. So when we write in an English class, it is an expectation that all written work is formatted in what is called MLA format. So this format has very specific rules that you guys have to follow. And this is when we write essays. First of all, we will always use Times New Roman 12-point font. That is a requirement for all papers. Everything written that you turn into me should be in Times New Roman 12-point font, and that font color is black. Please do not change it to any other font color. You do not need to bold, italicize, or underline anything except for titles, which we'll talk about in a little bit. All essays should be double-spaced unless otherwise stated. And all documents should have a header that is formatted last name and page number to the right side of the header document. And I will show you how to do all of this in just a few minutes. Your essay, not memos or letters, because we will have memos and letters that do have a different format, which we'll go over when it's time to write those, should have some sort of a title that is in the center of the paper. This title will not be bold, italicized, or underlined. When writing an essay, not a memo or a letter, those have a different format. You must put your name on an essay in a very specific way. The essay format is going to look something like this at the top, and you will start where the cursor is. The very first thing you're going to type is your name. When you type that, you're going to hit enter and type my name. My name is Amy Cagle, spelled C-A-G-L-E. Please make sure that my name is spelled correctly, because I would try to make sure your name is spelled correctly if I was typing yours. You put the class name and the section number. We are English 116-80L. And then you put the date in the format of day, month, and year. So you are, for example, December. This is for December 2018. Your name should be justified at the top left side of the paper, not in the header. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to quickly bring up a Word document and show you guys exactly how to do this on Microsoft Word. Be back in a second. And I'm back. I'm going to bring up a Word document. Let me make this big for us. And this is what a standard Word document looks like in Microsoft Word. I am going to put this in the format that it is supposed to look like so you guys can see how this is supposed to look. So the very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and type my name heading in the paper. And the reason why I do this first is because sometimes if we change the font before we type, it just changes it back. It likes to be mean like that. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to type your name first. So I'm going to type your name. Then you're going to hit enter and type my name. My name is Amy Cagle. You're going to hit enter again and type the class name, English, I can't spell, 116-80 capital L. And then you're going to hit enter one more time and put in the date. So today's date is 4 December 2019. There, if you notice, there are no commas that you are dealing with here. It's just 4 December 2019. Once you get this in, you're going to insert a header. So you go over to insert, header, the very first one. It's going to pull it up here. You put a page number on a document. You go over here to where it says page number, top of page, plain number 3, and you put your name, and then you're going to type your last name. Last name. This needs to be in Times New Roman 12-point font as well. So highlight it, go back to home, over where you change the fonts. I've used it before. If you have it, you just need to search for it. Times New Roman, go over to the font size, 12-point font. Now we're going to double click and get out of the header. We're going to highlight everything, pulling it down as far as it'll go. Times New Roman, 12-point font. And we need to double space our paper. So we're going to come right up here to where you have the line with the arrows with the line next to it, line and paragraph spacing. Click. 2.0 is double. And then we're going to hit enter. We're going to justify to the center, and this is where we put our title. Then we're going to hit enter one time, justify back to the left, hit the tab key, T-A-B, tab key, and we're ready to start typing. Our secret word for this video is essay. So when you're finished watching this video, if you will please go into secret word number 2 and type in essay, and you will be able to get credit for the secret word and for watching the video. I'm going to pause the video now and get back into the presentation so we can continue. And we're back. So the next thing we want to talk about in terms of writing our words correctly and to making sure that we have good writing expectations is making sure that we use capital letters correctly. Over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you see some lists of capitalization rules. You want to make sure that all of these types of things in your papers are capitalized. I'm going to go over a couple. I'm not going to go over all of these because you're not going to use all of them. Make sure the first word in the sentence is always capitalized, and anytime you use the pronoun I, that's when I is by itself, not in a word like it, unless it starts a sentence. Any country name should be capitalized, days of the week, months, but not seasons, even though you're not going to talk about that. Anytime you go over a book title, that should be capitalized, and any main words and title of books, songs, or articles. Capital letters is one of the most important things that makes your writing look professional. So you do want to make sure that your writing is professional with capital letters. You also want to make sure that you're formatting your titles correctly. There will be times where you will need to explain research that you've gotten from a book or a manual, or if you're asked about a song or a magazine or a newspaper, you need to know how to format those titles. Anytime you are talking about a large work of literature, such as a book or a play or a manual, a newspaper, magazine, movie, or song or album of musicians, those are all italicized when we type. So Control I will italicize. If we're handwriting something, we underline those. For smaller things like chapter titles, song titles, poems, and articles from magazines or newspapers, you put those in quotation marks. There will be times, like I said, when I will ask you to reference material. And when you do so, you need to format those titles correctly. You also need to make sure that you're using apostrophes appropriately. When writing, we use apostrophes to make contractions. So do plus not equals don't. We use apostrophes to make things possessive. For example, the dog's toy, dog apostrophe S. If a word already ends in S, like dogs, you simply put the apostrophe after. You never use an apostrophe in a pronoun like it. If you put it apostrophe S, that becomes it is. So please make sure that you are using pronouns correctly with apostrophes. Lastly, do not use apostrophes for plurals. Only exception is letters. So his parents were proud, parent with no apostrophe S. Lastly, make sure that we're using commas appropriately. Whenever we are using commas, we have a list. We need to make sure that we are using commas in the list. If you will make sure to look over all of the comma rules in this chart and take note on those, these are very important comma rules to learn. So therefore, you need to make sure that you are utilizing your commas correctly. However, if you still are concerned about grammar or spelling, you can always go to a website called Grammarly.com. Grammarly is a great resource that you can download to your computer or that you can simply copy and paste work into that will look for grammar mistakes, will highlight them for you, and help you make those corrections. Because the grammar and spelling is so important for this class, you want to make sure to use the resources you have, and Grammarly is a great one. Also, if grammar and spelling is something that you still feel like you are concerned with, remember that I am in the Writing Center on Tuesdays from 6 to 8 and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30. If you would like to come and utilize that time to get some one-on-one help, or if you can't come that time, the Writing Center is open pretty much all day, every day. So you can come by at any time you have a free minute and get some help on your work. This is your Writing Expectations lecture video. Hopefully you learned something from it, and I look forward to seeing that these skills put into play in your first writing assignment, which is due at the end of this week. Thanks so much, guys.